Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on here? And thank you very much for go ahead and joining Black and Nerdy Tabletop. And don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And today we're going to go ahead and unpack the Phyrexia pack. We did another one previously. This one we're going to do the regular one. So let's get started, man. I'm excited. Let's see what we got. All right. Okay, so we got the Mepido Slime. This one has Trample on it, which is pretty good. It's a 3/3 card here, and a 3/3 card with Dark and Nature Magic. So, not too shabby. Not too shabby. Maybe I might use this one. Don't really know just yet here. It says, when this card dies, conjure a card named Metadrill Slime into your graveyard. Double the power and toughness of the slime and that card then shuffles into the owner's library. Okay, so don't really know why you would put it in this. Kind of weirdly written there, but okay. And this one we have the Skull Piercer Gnat, excuse me. So it's a flying creature, that's cool. It's also a toxic creature. So this is one of those poison creatures. Definitely a very interesting and fun way to play if you want to play a poisoned deck, which I've seen it. I've kind of seen it. I'm working on it right now. I'm not going to say I've seen it done, but I'm definitely working on making one myself here. But this one, whenever this particular card deals combat damage to a player, a random non-land card in that player's hand perpetually gains. When you cast a spell, you get a poison counter. Oh, wow! So that pretty much means that a card, a random card in your hand actually gives you poison when you use it. So it's pretty intense. That being said, there's not too many times that a land card is actually in your hand, except for in the beginning of the game. So this is one of those that you may want to go ahead and make sure that you get this in your you get it, you go ahead and push it out in the beginning of the game. We got another one here, Phyrexia and Atlas here. This one has another poison card here. It also has, when you go ahead and tap it rather, you get 1 mana of any color. That's not a bad thing. In fact, I love these cards because there have been times that I will go ahead and just tap, and just kind of I got one card that just kept getting stronger every time I tapped it. Didn't help me. I still lost the match, but whatever. So it says, whenever Phyrexia Atlas becomes tapped, each player who has 3 or more poison counters loses a life. Impressive. So this not only is a really good poison card, but it makes it even worse. Oh, gosh. And you don't even got to fight with this one. You just got to tap it. Hazardous Blast. Fire card. Fire card and 3 neutral mana. Fair enough. Hazardous Blast deals 1 damage to each creature creature your opponent controls. Creatures you control can't block on its turn. Okay, so basically it means that not only does it do 1 damage, which is whatever, but they can't block. So this is really good for when you're about to attack. You want to cast this real quick, make it so none of them can block, and you can just bang, 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 just get nice, good hits on them. So not too shabby. Rustvine Cultivator. I've actually have this one card already here. This one basically comes with the oil counters, and every time you remove an oil counter, remove an oil counter from the cultivator, and you can untap a land target. That's not shabby at all. Think about it. You can go ahead and use it and use a summon a creature or cast a spell. Then you can go ahead and tap this for free. And once you tap it, you get one of your land cards back. That's really good. The Hexgold Slash. Hexgold Slash deals 2 damage on your target's creatures. If that creature has toxic, the card does 4 damage instead of 2. That's pretty impressive, actually. I like that. I like that as well. Finally, the Incisor Glider. This is a flying card. I had to make sure the other one wasn't flying. Oh, the Gnat was flying, but that's to be expected. Whenever this card attacks, if an opponent has 3 or more poison counters, you gain control. Your creatures you control get 1 +1 until the end of the turn. That is incredible. That basically means that you get stronger the more that your opponent gets weaker with poison. Not only that, but keep in mind that based on the way that it's said, it says if the opponent has 3 or more poison cards, which basically means that it literally gets stronger if you're playing like a 2v2 kind of thing, or even a 3-on-3, and everyone is poisoned. That means that you'll actually get, if like say like you got not 3-on-3, but like a free for all, and you got up to 4 players. Well, that means that you'll get, if all 4 of them have poison, up to 3, that is, 3 or more rather, then you get 3/3. Wow, that's pretty impressive. And let's go ahead and see our final card for this pack. The Surgical Metamorph. All right, so this spell costs 1 mana less. This spell costs 1 neutral mana less to cast if you weren't the starting player. Okay, very interesting. But what does it do is the question here. You may have Surgical Metamorph enter the battlefield as a copy of a permanent on the battlefield, except it's an artifact in addition to the other types. Okay, so basically you can bring this card in and you can make it copy any other card in there with the exception of artifacts. Got it. So that's not too shabby. I like that. All right, so that's our first pack here. Let's go ahead and unlock our second pack. All right, the Hex Gold Sledge, rather. When this card enters the battlefield, conjure a card named Goblin Gavir into the battlefield. Okay, so this one, if you got this one, it automatically allows you to summon another card. Oh, the card's actually on the right. I didn't even notice that. It's a 1/1 card, which I kind of expected. But the Goblin, oh, nice. It gets a +2 in attack for each equipped attached card. So that's really good. And then on top of that, this particular sledgehammer automatically gets a +1, which basically means that if you use this card, it's basically like getting a 4/1 creature. So that's impressive, a 4/1 creature. We already looked at Metadose Slime, so that's good. Pestilent Siphoner, okay. So long story short, this one doesn't have any kind of flavor text to it. It's a flying and a toxic. Basically, for those who don't know what toxic is, a player can deal combat damage by a creature with toxic. Also gets poison counters equivalent to that creature's total toxic value. The toxic 1, so he's going to get an additional toxic value per attack. 1 additional, so that's really good here. Hex Gold Slash. We already read over this one, so fair enough. Phyrexian Atlas, we already read over this one. The Ichor Synthesizer, very interesting name for once. Let's see, when you cast a non-creature spell, put an oil container on this particular card. As long as the card has 4 or more oil containers, it gets +2 attack and cannot be blocked. Okay, so if you have 4 oil containers, you'll actually get it. Actually be a 3/3. Not too shabby at all. And then finally, you have the Gold Ward's Helm. So very interesting right here. It says for Mirador. Fair enough. Equipped creature gets defense, +1 defense. And then it's going to cost you 2 mana, with one of them being white, to go ahead and do that. This also seems to create a token, though it doesn't say it in the text, but it seems to create a token called a Rebel. So fair enough. For Mordorin. That's the when this enters the battlefield, it creates a 2/2 Rebel token. There you go. All right, not too shabby. Definitely good. Let's see what our special card is. Ooh. First of all, this is a legendary creature, which means I can actually use this as a commander. It says the Vexier Ichtahir. Oh, wow, impressive. Whenever you seek one or more cards, create a 3/3 colorless Phyrexian Golem artifact creature token. The Golem you control has vigilance, and the Golem is on the right-hand side, of course. So I'm a little confused about what it means about when you seek one or more cards. So fair enough, I guess. So not too shabby. So let's go ahead and finish this with our final unboxing here, unpacking here. All right, so we got one uncommon wild card, one common wild card. So right here we got Kemba's Outfitter. And I've actually, once again, I've been always interested in making like a cat deck. So this will actually help out with that. When this card enters the battlefield, choose one. Either you can choose an equipment card in your hand, and it perpetually gains one equipped or equipped one, or the target equipped you control perpetually gains one equipped. Fair enough. So either one that you have or one that you can have. So fair enough. Um, the Meldweb Strider. Okay, interesting. When this card enters the battlefield with the oil container on it, remove an oil container from the Strider. It becomes an artifact creature until the end of the turn. Okay. Don't think I'll be using that card. The Fencing Raptor. Okay, this is a flying and a toxic, mind you. So that's really good right there. So I kind of like that. This is one of those cards that while I won't be playing, even if I'm not playing a toxic deck, if I'm still playing a white deck, I will definitely go ahead and use this one because it still gives them a toxic value, you know? So even if I'm not playing full toxic, it's always good to have one of these on you. Anyway, when this card enters the battlefield, another target creature you control with the toxic it gets +1/+1 and gains flying until the end of turn. Impressive. That means that if you have any other creature with toxic, which this deck seems to be full of them, they automatically get flying and get stronger for this turn. Hex Gold Slash, we've already looked at this. In fact, this is my third version of that. I think I had one of these cards. This is a very common card. This one is the Stinger Hive Master. Basically, it's a toxic card. Excellent. When the Hive Master dies, create a 1/1 colorless Permerian Might artifact creature token with toxic, and this creature can't be blocked. So once again, this card has toxic. But when I go ahead and if this character actually dies, it leaves behind a Might, which also has toxic. So, and my guess is, and I haven't used it yet, but my guess is it's just like Life Tap, where it doesn't really matter if you hit the enemy, if you hit the boss, it doesn't matter if you hit the Planeswalker or not. You're still going to get health. So that's it. And last but not least, let's see our special card today. The Phyrexian Scrapyard. Oh, this is interesting. So if you tap it, you add a neutral color. Okay. Neutral mana, rather. If you go ahead and tap it with 1 mana, it'll discard a card. Always love saying that. Conjure a card named the Phyrexian Scrapyard into your hand. So if I tap it, I can go ahead and literally put the card back in my hand. Okay. I guess that'll be good for something. And the second one, if I use 2 mana, I can sacrifice 3 lands named Phyrexian Scrapyard. Oh, this is a land. Oh, I didn't even notice that. Okay. Conjure a card named Soul of New Phyrexia into the battlefield. Activates only as a sorcery. Okay, so I didn't even know that, but now that I look at it, okay, it makes a lot of sense now. So, and then of course this card right here, it'll go ahead and if I use Trample and I use it with 5 mana, it looks like it permanently the permanence you control gains indestructible until the end of turn. Nice. So they all become super powerful to the end of turn. And exile souls of new what is it with these names? Phyrexia from your graveyard. Permits you control gain indestructible until the end of turn. Okay, so that means that I can go ahead and actually get that card. From your graveyard. If I have one in the graveyard, I can use that one as well. Okay, and it's a 6/6 card. So these are very, very good cards. I like them. Let me know what you guys think. You guys have a good night.